everyone, this is Dali, your diversity anti-bullying coach, and happy Thursday and happy Halloween. I'm not in my costume now because actually I went to work in it and it was really fun. But I'm so over it now. I went to work as the Queen of Hearts. I had the whole makeup and everything. I think I still have some red makeup around my hairline here. Um, but it's been a really fun day, and we had a celebration with food. And it was delicious. It was fun. I'm still stuffed, and I was like around 11. Lots of chili, and I'm not a big fan of chili, but somebody made this delicious version of chili with chicken and some goodies, and it was just really, really good. So I've had a good day, and I'm really tired, and I'm still expected to take the kids out to go trick or treating. And to be honest, I'm not that thrilled about it. It's windy. There's been a lot of fires here in California, not close to my home or my city, but close enough to where at work, there were people who were concerned about their neighborhoods and stuff like that, which is really weird because it's been cold, and it's been windy, and the wind doesn't help because that just helps spread the fire. But the majority of fires pretty much anywhere in the country are usually started by a human being instead of just it starting because of the heat or anything like that, which does happen here in California often. But the majority of them are still, induced by a human being. So I don't know what is going on, but it's affecting a lot of people's lives, sadly. So okay, so let's get to it. So today on the Dalitalks show, I want to talk to you about three words that I believe that kids should be able to understand. They're words that you typically don't teach children at a young age because they're so complex. But I believe that if you teach them these three words, that they'll be able to better explain when they see bullying happen or when it happens to them. So the first word is condescending. And it's like I said, it's really hard to explain because I had a hard time as a kid understanding what that was because this word has a lot to do with body language and tone, but it's pretty much a word that or the action is where somebody tries to demean or belittle you um, when asking or saying something. Like, for example, um, if somebody comes up to your child and asks, or if your child comes up to you and asks a question, and if you were to answer by saying, "Oh, well, one day you'll be just as smart as the rest of us," and you tell them, "Go figure it out." That's being pretty condescending. And I'm not sure if you can find any situations where your kid has experienced that with other children or with their siblings. You know how siblings, we get to do snarky things sometimes for some reason because we're in a funk. So if you can explain that, I think that it would be helpful. Sarcasm is similar. So when you use comments like, "Oh, you're not the brightest tool in the shed, are you?" now, or "You're not the brightest crayon in the Crayola box." You're demeaning them. You're telling them they're not very smart, that they're dumb, but you're doing it in that way. So sometimes kids, when they're bullied that way, and the teacher or an adult asks, "Well, did they call you something mean?" And they're like, "No." Or, "Well, did they call you a bad word?" I'm like, "No, they were just mean." And you'll ask, "Well, how were they mean?" And they're like, "Well, they were just mean. They just didn't sound right." And I've heard little kids tell this to a teacher or an adult, and usually the adult says, "Well, I'm sorry, but it doesn't sound like anything really wrong was said to you." So they dismiss it, and that's how bullying gets overlooked. Um, the third word is backhanded comments. So something that's happened to me in the past is that a lot of people say, "Oh, you're you speak so well, you're so articulate for being an immigrant. And I'm like, what? Why do you have to say that, um or some of my friends who are bigger, they have been told, oh, you're so pretty for a fat girl, or you're so pretty for a big bone girl, or um or you're so smart for being somebody, for being dyslexic or something like that. Those are backhanded comments where, they're trying to compliment, but they're saying like they're less than because of whatever circumstance is going on with them. So those three words are very important. So if you can find examples to teach your kids, it's like, this is what somebody being condescending would say, and this is what somebody using sarcasm would say, and this is what a backhanded compliment would be, or a backhanded comment would be. So try to find something relatable, something that they have seen either on television shows that they watch, or something that happens within the family. You always have a smart mouth person in the family. So if you tell them, remember when so and so did or said this, um, then you can use those as examples so that they can relate and it can be clear. Also, make sure that you mention the tone, because the tone has a lot to do with it. It's really hard to just say it. Yeah, just explain it to them. So if you can find a video on YouTube, and believe me, there are many. So play a video, that shows a scenario with sarcasm, or with somebody being very condescending, or somebody, giving a backhanded compliment, and show them so that they get an idea about, like what it is, and if it happens to them, that way they can explain it to you. So that's my golden nugget for today. And I want to give you updates about what's going on. Okay, so I am going to be part of a really wonderful summit called the Women of Power Summit. And I'm trying to find, if you follow Nobody Greater LLC, I'm going to click and paste the link right here. Check that out because the announcement is on there. And I'm going to be part of this wonderful summit. It's a collective of many, many ladies worldwide, and they are sharing their words of wisdom about many things, about um, leadership mainly, because a lot of times we tend to dismiss that we are leaders. And that revelation came to me a long, long time ago. Oops, I posted something that's probably not gonna work. Sorry about that second one. I'll delete it. But I encourage you to tune in, just watch and listen. Maybe it'll inspire you to get through something personal or business wise, so that you can learn from others. And if you have young kids, have them watch a few of them. They're about 15 minutes long each, and they offer something for free. So check it out. And the other thing I want to mention is that if you are on my list, on my subscription list, my newsletter, I sent out a survey because I'm trying to create content that you all will find valuable. And I want to know what kind of questions you have related to bullying, harassment, any type of um, diversity issues, like how to teach kids how to get along with people who are different than them, or how to explain to kids why people dress a certain way, or why they have certain accents, and why you don't say certain words or anything like that. Anything of that sort. I'd love to know your thoughts about what your challenge is, like what are you having a hard time teaching your child so that they don't go and say the wrong thing, and get in trouble for saying it because they're not aware that certain things are maybe offensive or just wrong. So you can sign up for my mail newsletter at dalitalks.com, and you're gonna get this survey, and it's very, very short. It's mostly yes, no questions or options, and then there's two questions where you just fill in with your thoughts. I think it's a total of 11 questions. So it would be very, very helpful to me so that I can provide you with the best information possible. Let's see what else. I also have a networking event going on. Now, I know that you're wondering, well, what does this have to do with bullying? Well, it has nothing to do with bullying, but it has everything to do with how I got started with this business. It all started because I wanted to share the knowledge that I learned when I started advocating for my daughter, and I realized that it wasn't as easy as it seemed. And I was pretty ticked off about it because to me it was just a no-brainer. He's like, "Hey, I submitted the complaint. You need to do something about it. Those kids were wrong. People saw it, and it wasn't that dry and cut." So I share my knowledge now because I don't want this to happen to other parents, because it's pointless for kids and parents to have to go through this drawn out ordeal. But had I known how to submit a bullying report properly, and had I known that there are certain policies that schools have to follow, and no matter, like what they want to do, they just have to follow those rules, and it would have made no sense. I probably wouldn't have been as anxious and upset as I was before. So I created this event with a friend who is a marketing expert, and she offered to do um, a free workshop at my house, actually. And it's going to be a lunch. So we're going to provide some food. We're going to have some networking going on, and we're going to have a hands-on workshop. So if you are a person, even if it's for your own career, even if it's for like a resume or something like that, she's going to teach you how to craft your pitch really well, or your story, and so that you can reach out to whoever it is you want to reach out to. So you can find that. I'm gonna give you, let me see, I'm gonna copy this link. It's on Eventbrite, and it's $15, so it's very reasonable. And it's Saturday, November 9th, and it's going to be really fun. It's going to be very intimate. So you're going to get to actually come to her with your specific question, and she will be able to coach you right there and then on how to improve it, or how to draft it if you have nothing at all. So please share this with others, and I hope that you can make it, because it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really fun. Lastly, let's see what we have going on for this upcoming month. For next week, we're gonna have a speaker, and let me see. Actually, no, we're not gonna have a speaker. It's gonna be just me. But in the upcoming weeks, on the 13th, I'm gonna have Jess. She is an expert on tests, like state testing for college for kids. So if you're interested in that, if you want to know how to prepare your child for those, like the ACT, the SATs, even she does like all these other ones, like the one for the law, I can't think right now, to get into law school. But yeah, she's gonna be on the 13th. On Instagram, if you like Instagram more, and she'll be on Facebook here at the Dalitalks show at 5 o'clock on the 14th. She's also going to provide us with a guest blog, and I'm really excited about that because it's going to give us a few insights. I know nothing about those tests because I didn't go directly to college after high school, and I knew about that. I remember I was just lost, and all I knew was that I wanted to go into the military, and I did. So I didn't go through the normal process of getting into college. I ended up going into college once I was in the military, and I would take a class here and a class there. And then 10 years later, after I left the military, I went to school full time, and I pretty much started from scratch. from my undergrad all the way into my master's. And the process was just different because I already had a lot of credits. I had like 130 some credits of random classes I had taken just because I was not sure what I wanted to do with my academic career. So Jess is gonna guide us and give us a few tips on, about things to know about those tests. And then on the 20th, I'm gonna have Tiffany on, Patterson, Peterson, and she's going to talk to us about a support group for children of veterans, dependents. So I like this topic a lot because, of course, I was a military member, and had I not gotten out of the military, my children would have ended up being a dependent of an active duty service member. And I know that this group of kids kind of struggles a lot because they're constantly moving from place to place. They don't have stable friends or a stable home because they have to follow mom or dad or both when they're serving for our country. So this is going to be a really fun talk because she's going to give you a few insights about ways in which you can support them without having to like go onto the base or anything like that. So let's see. And then of course, the week of Thanksgiving, I'm going to play it by ear. I'm not going to have an official Dalitalks show, but I'm pretty sure, knowing me, that I'm just going to pop in just to talk to you guys and wish you a happy Thanksgiving and stuff like that. I know that I'm going to be on the road as well, visiting, and I might show you around because I'm going to go up north, Northern California. It'll be my first time, so I'm really excited about it. Okay, so that's all I've got. If you have any questions, please make sure that you post your question in the comments, or you can email me at dali@dalitalks.com or message me because I check my messages daily. And don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter at dalitalks.com. The link is always there in my profile, okay, if you ever forget. And click like on this video, please, and share it with others or tag others. And I'll see you. Have a wonderful, safe Halloween. Remember, always like stay with your group. Don't lose children. And children, if you're watching this, don't stray away from your parents. And have a flashlight with you if you can, or glow sticks or whatever. Just use the buddy system because you just never know what can happen, or like get lost, or you just never know. So enjoy, don't have too much candy, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.